Hey Rangers, today we're going to be talking about Occultic 9 from Manga Entertainment. And first of all, who are we? This is something I didn't expect, and I was just like, oh wow. I watched all the way to the end, and again, the ending, which this video will contain spoilers, really got to me. And I've watched it like 3 times now. I watched it twice in English and 1 in Japanese. And I've got to admit, I like the English a lot more than the Japanese. But, oh dear lordy, this was something, I'm bigging it up. It's a good anime. Okay, so for the general information, this was all on Blu-ray. Disc 1 was 1 hour and 12 minutes, and Disc 2 was 1 hour and 12 minutes as well. So on Disc 1, the special features are pretty much just trailers, opening and closing, textless, like, outros and intros and stuff like that, which wasn't too bad, but again, I kind of really wish there was a little bit more. Now, I will note this, I don't know if this was just on my copy, but when I watched, like when you play the intro, as in like, you know, it's just like play, like scene selection, blah blah blah, it had no music, so I don't know if that's just my copy, or if that is literally how it was, but it felt a little bit weird. I'm used to music playing all the way through. This anime is a paranormal anime, and I don't normally watch these because sometimes they're like, to me, but this one really caught my attention, and I think probably most of the way through. So let's talk about the overview. Now, there is a lot in this, and the main anime follows Yuta. He is at the beginning, he is this kind of like cocky guy, you know, he's funny, he's a bit shy, and I really liked him as a character until he gets to a certain part where he just becomes like most anime characters that I hate, and that's just someone whining constantly. Now, I don't know if I'm going to blame it on the events that happened to him, or if this is just him naturally, but as soon as he finds the dead body and he takes the key from the mouth, etc, etc, he just changes, and he's got this spirit thing that when watching it in English and Japanese it sounds exactly the same, but it just seems that rather than this spirit talking to him, it's just yelling at him constantly, like saying that he's stupid, he hasn't figured it out, he needs to do stuff, you know, get on to things, and that generally just kind of really annoyed me. You meet Ryoka, and she is his best friend, but when you see her, you kind of think that they're in a relationship. She has a Puyo gun, and she shoots him, and it's like an electric gun, which is kind of funny because she'll only do it at times to him. But one of my favorite characters is Miyu, and Miyu is the fortune teller. She's able to see the future to some degree, she can predict what's going to happen, and she meets up with Yuka, and it's just really interesting because Miyu has this like fan club, and it's the same sort of thing you see in anime. It's like, I really like her, you can't like her because you are scum. If you do not know all of her stuff, you are scum. And I'm like, so when like Miyu goes off to them, everyone's like, how dare she talk to those peasants? Blah! It just, that sort of stuff kind of gets me. But Miyu doesn't come with all good stuff. She is able to tell that, like, through fortune, like the future, and she gets called out on it, but you can see that she knows her stuff, that she can see it, but people are trying to disprove her all the way through. And this really irritates me because when she gets one caller, they turn around and say, yeah, tell me my future. And when she does, they instantly get like, ha! You are lying! You're lying! I only have a few months to live! You know, come to my house and I will show you the records! You're a phony! And do you know what? Just thinking about it, oh, it angers me because there are people like that. But she doesn't let it get to him that much, and she just kind of like just goes, yeah, next caller, etc, etc. It's just really irritating. You kind of think that if that happened in real life, you're like, yeah, all right, I'll come meet you at this place, bring your records, let's have a look. And they'll be like, oh, I didn't mean to. No, or they just wouldn't turn up. Oh. Now, I do think that this would have been a perfect detective anime rather than a paranormal one, because you also meet one of the kind of like detectives. Now, again, I didn't catch his name, or I'm not able to remember it, but I did like him because he was more kind of the calm, collective police officer, like not jumping into stuff. When people would have a massive go at him, he'd be like, yeah, it's cool. whatever, I don't mind. He says that he's an otaku detective and he knows, like obviously through manga and doshindens and stuff, he knows exactly what's going on. I just generally really liked him as a character. There are elements in this anime that made me go, wow. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. You see that it is really dark, as in dark toned, and then obviously you've got death in it. It opens up on some episodes going, 200 people have died, and you're like, holy crap. But then it's very, very weird at the same time. It starts off fun, I will say that, and then it instantly takes a darker tone, and I'm like, oh, did not see that one coming. The ending, oh my god, I did not even see that coming, and I was like, I need to know more of it. So now we're going to talk about the writing. So the writing was a little bit weird to me, but it did freak me out, and that's really hard to do. There are times when I was like, oh, no, but it kind of worked out really well at the end. Obviously, I'm going to mention Ria's story later on in this video, but the way that she took her brother's body, that was kind of weird, and the fact is that he was dead. Oh, did not see that one coming, but that was kind of really weird. But it didn't put me off that part. I just thought, alright, okay. Now, another part is Miyu's friend called Chi. Chi was a really nice person, and at first when I was watching this, I didn't put two and two together. But you see this really creepy kid who I'm guessing is either psychotically deranged or he is just massively messed up. But when Chi and Miyu are walking and they're shopping and they're interacting, Chi is saying like she wants a pet bird, and she's really kind of wanting this, so she's gonna try and convince her parents. So as Miyu and Chi kind of walk away, this is when it got weird, because Chi meets up with that guy, or the guy is literally in front of her in the street, and he does this really creepy smile, and I'm like, oh, don't like this. Oh, don't. No, I just don't. But Miyu gets a text message which has a picture of Vanguard cards in. Who knew that would make a cameo? I was very pleasantly surprised with that. But the second that you see this creepy kid, you know exactly what's going to happen. So when she has had these pictures through, she's trying to call Chi, and she is not picking up. It's just a direct dial tone, and that's it, nothing more. And you kind of think, oh no, 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 no. But we now know what's going to happen. Much later on, you come up to the point where they're all going to the shrine temple, and they're making this kind of box, and it has to have a sacrifice of something to kind of open a portal. It's a weird thing, but to have this kind of blessing or whatever it is, you have to sacrifice someone. And the kid's like, I didn't know, I just needed someone pure of heart. In fact, I wanted you, Miyu. And you're like, oh god. So when Miyu walks up to the box, she opens it up, and you can see I don't know if the heart's beating still, but you can see there's a lot of blood. And you just see the kind of toy charm that she had, and I was like, no, Chi, no. Oh, and when I rewatched it, I was like, there's the strap. There's the strap right there. Oh, no! At the end of episode 6, you have a huge, massive turnaround, which I'm not going to spoil. I hope I'm spoiling this video. But it's this huge, massive turnaround, which makes you want to continue watching. And to have writing like that, to have that ending, you just didn't see it happening. And I'm interested to see how it turns out. We're now on to the animation. Now, the animation to me looked a little bit faded. I generally thought that this may have not been finished, or it was a different style. And at first, it kind of got to me, but now I kind of like, oh, I kind of like it. So you have to watch it for the entire whole, pretty much around about over 2 hours, and you'll be fine. I did find that a lot of the background elements, like the background was drawn really, really well. Very, very well detailed. As mentioned before, the anime starts off kind of really light, but then gets kind of really darker toned. And this didn't really put me off, but I didn't like it at first. I had to grow into the anime, and I'm so happy that I did, because it did change my mind. When you see some of the effects, like the blood as well as the Puyo Puyo gun, these are the ones that really did stand out, because you had this sort of kind of like normal mellow kind of animation, but seeing elements like that really kind of made this stand out. And the use of dark to lighter tones was really nice. When you meet Rhea and you are in her kind of fortune-telling booth, or her spells, because she can cast spells, curses mainly on people, it felt like you were there, and I really liked that. The same thing with the cafe. It felt like you were actually spending time there and observing from, like, say, across the room of what these characters were doing. And that I haven't really felt for a long time. The way that this was also cut together showed that there would be an emotional build-up. And even though it wasn't in every single episode, when it built up, it really kind of stood out and made you want to watch the next episode. There are times when I've seen this in media like Heroes, where the episode could not be that interesting, but boom, in the last, say, minute or the last 10 seconds, it does something for you to want to watch the next episode. And this is what I wholeheartedly like. I miss this because I like the build-up. I like to know, like, I need to watch the next one. Holy crap, it's like 2 in the morning, but I need to know what happens next. And it's excitement that you're really kind of brought back, that you want to watch and continue on until you finished it, and it's like 5 in the morning and you got work at 6 and you don't know what to do. With the animation, I did like the way that the characters were drawn, as well as the backgrounds, and obviously it felt kind of refreshing because it wasn't kind of like on point, perfect like animation, like the characters were drawn like you would see it in, say, Dragon Ball Super, or something like the higher class animes. The way that it was faded, the way that the characters may not look completely or finished, it was kind of refreshing, and I kind of really liked that. Okay, characters. So, as I said, Yuka is a great character until a certain point, and he just turns into the sort of character that I really don't like. We had Ryoko. She is an interesting character. She's like light-hearted. She's fun. You know, she doesn't let anything get her down. But one of the main characters that really stood out was Rhea. I kind of really wish that this would have played out all the way through, that she would have had a big brother and you wouldn't have known what was going to happen. So, in this, you find out that Rhea needed an organ transplant. She needed something, and her brother was the only kind of compatible person. So when they did the transplant, you find out that he died on the operating table. And people are not too sure what happened because she disappeared and her brother's body disappeared. I know, this is a weird one. So you find out for an entire year that she's been living with her brother, but in her mind, it's like her brother is alive and real. And then suddenly, like one day, when she's coming back from school or somewhere, you know, everyone's around her and they're calling her sick. But in her mind, she was like, no, we didn't do any incest. We didn't do anything like that. You know, you guys are sick for thinking about that. They're like, we didn't say that. He's been dead for a year or something. It's either a year or 6 months. It's something really weird. And then she's like, no, he's fine. But when she looks back, I think the cart falls over and the body just rolls, and she's like running over going like, no, don't leave me. And then you find out that it's like a shriveled up corpse, and she's like, oh my god. It was just weird, her backstory, but because of that, she doesn't become like a happy character or kind of an evil character. She just becomes very kind of like emotionally dead is what I can say. But her backstory, it was very, very weird. I did find that in a short amount of time, the characters would all have really immersed backstories, or they had character growth really quickly throughout the entire anime. And I really liked this. It wasn't to the point where I could forget about who they are or what they were doing, apart from their names. But I knew that the backstory, so when I go into it again, I know that I could see what's happened. But it feels like that when you watch the anime, you miss something, but when you rewatch it, you kind of go, oh yeah, I didn't see that. Especially at the very end. I didn't see that coming, but because I watched the very end, I had to rewatch it again just to make sure that I wasn't going crazy on certain elements. And I was like, yes, that's the one. What made this interesting to me? I have to say the story was the main thing that really drove me to continue watching this. Like some animes that I've seen, I couldn't get into the storyline very quickly, even when I'd watched 1 or 2 episodes. But this one, from the get-go, really made me want to watch and continue watching. And now I really want to see the next load of episodes. From what I've read, I think that they all haven't been finished yet. but there's still quite a lot that they need to go into, which really has me excited for watching the next one. There was quite a lot of change in pace in this. To me, it felt at the very beginning, it was very light-hearted, and then all of a sudden, probably I think episode 2 or 3, boom, it changes to something dark, and I was not expecting it. And that to me was awesome, because I like to be surprised when watching animes. If everything is just the same all the time, it can get repetitive, but oh my god, was it good. So my final thoughts on this. This is an anime that I could watch over and over again. Now normally when I re-watch an anime as many times, I sometimes get bored, but I didn't seem to get bored whatsoever when watching this. So I could watch it probably maybe another 3 to 4 times and be like, cool, I need to know what happens. And I can easily like recommend this to any of my friends and say, hey, do you want to come over and watch a really cool anime? It's gonna be good, and you know, I can obviously help support it, but I can also introduce it to more people, and this is what I really like about sharing anime. I'm now looking forward to the next one so I can see what happens, and again, I don't really want to spoil it by watching it all in Japanese. I really want to watch it in English because I liked it better in English than I did in Japanese. This is something that I highly recommend. Link is going to be in the description where you can pre-order it or buy it depending on when you watch this video, because time passes for everyone. Don't know why I said that, but yes, link is going to be in the description. So yeah, highly recommend it. So Rangers, what did you think about this anime? Did you like it? Did you not? What are your thoughts on it? Let me know down below in the comments. So if you've liked this video, like, favorite, comment, and consider subscribing. Check out all the other videos on the channel. If you want to help out on Patreon, link is in the description down below. And as always, Rangers, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a bit.